So we're going to go over something that it might be a little different for some of you. We have our pork steaks frying and some adobo and sazon. That's our normal and not too crazy. My bowl is ready for rice. I like to start it up really hot and scorching. Leave it hot for a little while. Really rinse the rice off. That's kind of what we're going through today, is how to make more of a Spanish type Puerto Rican rice. And a lot of people cook their rice this way, even if they're making it Japanese rice, Chinese rice. I know a lot of people's rice, they rinse, but here's how we do it in my family and with my husband's family. My mother-in-law did teach me through this. And, it's just a courtesy for me to learn it. Not necessary by any means, but something I was very interested in, very excited to do, is learn how to make more of a Spanish type rice, that texture to it, and the flavor was always really good. So we rinse it really well. So when you rinse it, right, you have to stir it. The really hot water starts to really break down some sort of the rice. I mean, you guys can get into the science, but from what I understand, it kind of breaks it down a little. It starts to take off kind of the outer coating, and I'm not really sure what that coating is. It definitely tastes a lot better without this extra, kind of rice dust, I'd call it. It could just be kind of the way the rice, rubs together, the way the rice is already kind of doing its own thing, or maybe just the way it was growing in the ground. But you can see this creaminess if you really use that hot water to the rice. And just, my mother-in-law was always so funny. She said she ran the hottest water, and she always used her bare hands. And I see this water and I see how hot it is, and I say to myself, there's just no way. But she's, some cooks have that extra, layer of, they don't care, I guess. So I really enjoy cooking. I loved learning what she told me, but I'm not going to use my hand. So I do use a spoon. We sometimes lose a few kernels, especially holding the camera with one hand to show you guys all this. Now, the fun thing about it is when you need that oil, you put a little oil in the pan. It just depends. I'd say 2 tablespoons per 2 cups of rice, maybe even a little less. And another really cool thing is when you pour that hot, wet rice, right, into the oil, the really hot oil, it makes such a cool noise. And it's also, kind of starting to cook, and it gives it this crust on the bottom. You do initially stir it, make sure you get the bottom, but it starts to make a crust after it's been cooking for a while. And a lot of people really enjoy that part of the rice as well. And I know my friend who's from Dominican Republic calls it con. And I forgot what my husband and their family from Puerto Rico calls it. Anyways, so I'm still learning the language, of course. I'm not fluent. I know a little bit. Un poquito is what my mother-in-law says. But we have the rice. You measure out the same number of cups to the same number of cups of water. Rice to water ratio is the same. And, you add a little salt if you want, but that's really all there is to it. Now, my pork steaks are done. Not really the best and smoothest way to put pork steaks in an oven, especially all the oil. I did have to clean my oven again after this with the drips. But I did want to make sure I got the sear and then just let it roast in the oven a little bit. And that's the way we decided to do it this day. Give it that extra cook because we don't want undercooked pork. No. It was very yummy. Everything was really good. It's just one of my favorite meats. Of course, not beating out chicken thighs. Chicken thighs is my favorite. I could probably even do it over a steak some days. So we have the pork steaks. I like the sear on them. Everyone enjoyed the meal. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good day. Until tomorrow.